Every Christian should know this. The Shroud of Turin is not just a relic, it's a powerful sacred sign linking us to the resurrection of Jesus. Maybe if you think the shroud isn't in the Bible, think again. What if everything you knew was a lie? Listen carefully. Right now, you're looking at an exact carbon copy. A rare, exclusive glimpse into the face of a Nazarene. Imagine staring into the eyes of history itself. Decades of research, over 60,000 hours and 120 plus scientific papers overwhelmingly support its authenticity. Where's the faith from the church? If this cloth were presented in court, expert evidence would undoubtedly confirm it wrapped the body of Jesus of Nazareth. The apostles knew its power and subtly referenced its mystery in early Christian writings. Understanding this could redefine and deepen your faith and challenge centuries of tradition. Stay tuned, because what comes next will change everything.
First thing people say is the Shroud of Turin isn't in the Bible, and that's another reason why people say they're not interested in the Shroud of Turin. This is an image of Lazarus after Jesus raised him from the dead. And you'll notice that Lazarus is wound in bandages. If we go to I'm not going to read out all the text because it takes too long, but in John 11, verses 43 and 44, we're told that Lazarus was wound in grave clothes. There is the grave clothes, kairos. The Greek is kairos, and basically they are bandages. Now, did this happen to Jesus? No, it didn't. They put him in a huge cloth. And there are two separate words used in the New Testament for that large piece of cloth. In John 20, verse 6, it says this: Simon Peter came following him and went into the tomb, and he saw there the linen cloths, the Greek is orthonia, lying there, and the handkerchief, the sudarium in Greek, that had been around his head. So Peter actually saw two pieces of cloth. One was an orthonia and one was a sudarium. In Mark 15, verse 46, it says that he bought fine linen, the word is sindon, took him down and wrapped him, that's Jesus, in the linen, and the Greek word is sindon. There is a picture of Mark who wrote the Gospel of Mark, or to whom it's attributed, and fleeing the Garden of Gethsemane, leaving behind him a cloak which covered his whole body. It's blue in that picture, called a sindon. We're told about that in Mark 14, verse 51. A young man wearing nothing but a linen garment, a sindon, was following Jesus. And when they seized him, he fled naked, leaving the garment, the sindon, behind. So Jesus was buried in something like Mark was wearing in the Garden of Gethsemane.
The Bible is filled with clues about the shroud. In Galatians 3:1, Paul recalls holding a portrait of the crucified Christ so powerful he couldn't believe the Galatians had strayed from the truth. In 2 Timothy 4, he commands his listeners to bring his cloak, a term so unique in Greek that later bishops used it for mantle and even tablecloths, eventually linking it to the cloth of Edessa, which many believe is the shroud.
So we might ask, well, what does that word orthonia actually mean? And we do the same. We have to look and find out where that word is used in the New Testament. Actually, Peter in the New Testament had a vision which involved a great sheet coming down called an orthonia. So in image 26, Jesus was buried in a great sheet, or a large piece of cloth.
In 2 Corinthians 4, Paul speaks of knowledge in the face of Christ, describing a faint glass-like image that later transformed into a clear, glorious vision. And time would fail us to match up all the wounds with the shroud. They're all accounted for, medically accurate, with some details visible only under UV light. It's like a crime scene. No artist could even contemplate it. Imagine if every Christian truly grasped the truth behind the shroud. A revival could ignite by dawn, its transformative power undeniable.